rushing to help than the doctors who took me away, fussing at my shoulder, a broken collarbone, as it turned out. They took me to the nearest clinic and checked me carefully, my bloody clothing stripped off and a stiff white paper gown draped over me. I asked about the young woman, and they said they didn't know, with a somber hesitancy that told me they did know, and the news was what I feared. I closed my eyes and prayed for a blessing for her soul, and for blessings for all those who were so kind and helpful. I gave thanks for my life, confused as that blessing still felt. Someone knocked on the post of our curtained-off room. "It's Ngozi," she announced in her raspy voice. I knew she was coming. I had listened to my chip that much. "Are you all right, Mercy?" The doctor looked at me to answer as I chose, and I said, "Come in. I've broken a bone, but that seems to be all." She stepped through the curtains, a tall, century-old woman, not as exquisitely frail as she looked, with a colorful dress draped over her arm. She reached to hug me, then stopped herself, her wrinkle-rimmed eyes growing wide. Why? What did she see? "Be very gentle," the doctor said. "She's badly bruised and sprained everywhere. We've sped healing of that bone." He had sent a diagnosis and instructions to me that I hadn't yet studied. I realized I should share them with Ngozi, so I sent them on, now not eager to know their news if the mere sight of me had made her hesitate. She took my right hand as gentle as if it were made of spun sugar. My left arm was in a sling. By then the doctor was through with me and left so I could take off the rustling paper gown and put on the striking yellow and green dress she had brought. I desperately wanted to shower, to wash away the odor of blood, of death, and if I could, the color-filled sight of rent flesh. We walked out to the street. I was limping from a sprain and using Ngozi's cane without her elegance. "Can you take a car home?" she asked. "Are you comfortable with that?" "With cars?" "Of course." I was surprised she had asked. She usually acted imperiously. Did she think I was afraid? Cars were robots and never had accidents, or rather, almost never. Whatever had happened, it wouldn't happen twice. She called for one, and I could not help but relish the trip through gorgeous curving streets lined with trees and gardens. New Port Harcourt. And you? Did your eyes see this city with pleasure? You had come here from the north, but you would have known its history. Centuries earlier, the sea had risen, and the city had to be moved inland bit by bit and rebuilt. Yet this changing world brought prosperity and more beauty than ever to Nigeria. Architecture marked by organic material rose up, gleaming windows surrounded by walls and roofs of intricate motifs on tiles and panels. I would never tire of the sight. You, I can imagine, because I have known others like you, fled from the scene of the crime that morning to your home, a lonely apartment, where you paced restless, waiting for an acknowledgement that never came until it was time to go to work. On an ordinary day, you would spend the afternoon monitoring operations and checking schedules at the docks as ships arrived or left. Were they being loaded or unloaded well? And had robots encountered obstacles? The mere sight of a rat or the odd heft of shifted cargo could make the robots seek guidance. Did the contents match the manifests? These days, everyone seemed to be trying to smuggle something in or out. It was dull work, mostly, but you enjoyed the sea and its moods, the drama of storms, the revel of sunshine, even the oppression of damp heat like an unpleasant but familiar hug. Today, though, you would arrive acting as carefree as a young man with a happy childhood, and expected news from a coworker would make you stop short. Mariam was dead. The conscientious and well-liked woman you often worked with. In a freak accident, she had been struck by a car. You would gaze into your coworker's eyes with feigned shock, perhaps share a brief embrace of solace, and speak of how fine she had been in her job and her life. But the sorrow on your face would be for you, knowing what you had done and why. As for myself, Mercy, I still knew nothing of this. Off in my own life, trying to avoid self-pity. I had been hurt, but I had survived.